this is going nuclear. And no, we're not talking about, current World War III threats happening with like Israel, Iran, and America and all that. No, we talking about basement dwelling weaves, baby. We got Ellen Historian coming out, putting Echidnut on blast. And I'm like, what is happening? And then I gotta go to here and I gotta look at Echidnut is putting some other fan account on blast. And then I gotta go find this guy's account. And then for some reason, Jake is coming out putting Echidnut on blast. And we know why Jake hates Echidnut, because Jake is the only ReZero content creator. And then I gotta figure out who is this commentary account. I can't even click on this because and then I gotta find this guy's account. And this guy is retweeting this guy named Omer. And then I gotta find Omer's tweet. And once I find Omer's tweet, I realized that it's a response to Ellen Historian, which has another thread. And it. Do you understand? Like, this is ridiculous. I don't know where to start. If you guys have done computer science or programming courses or math, do you know the concept of recursion? Because this is it, bro. Recursion is basically like layers of unpacking thing to do. I can't just find one tweet and farm it. I need to get the context by clicking onto multiple tweets that they're reposting, and sometimes they're not even reposting the tweets, they're just posting the fucking screenshots. So then I gotta go do detective work and go find out each individual people's fucking accounts and figure out what's going on. So insane day for the unemployed. This is truly our Super Bowl. Now, before we start farming, I just gotta say this first. I only have respect for these content creators who gives us the content for us to react to. I'm very appreciative of Ellen Historian, right? Echidnut as well, Jake as well, and then there's some other, accounts on Twitter that basically they're arguing with. So let's try to unpack what's going on. But basically, it seems like the drama is happening due to this thread here, right? Not this one. I think that we should go to, also, you guys should be very careful of reading, some of the replies here because it's probably going to be spoilers, so I'll try my best. But let's try to, I think this is like the origin of like, this is the Big Bang. This is where all the fucking fallout happens from. So, Dazai, CEO of Doksu. All right, she her #1 ORV fan, ReZero account as well. All right. Due to a popular request, hear what he said, heartbreak. I don't even remember defending Historian. Just said at least he loves some other series, like unlike Okeanex. The reason I'm laughing at the name Okeanex is like you have to be truly like chronically online and unemployed like the rest of us to understand this reference. So basically, Okeanex is like the #1 solo leveling. No. He's not the solo leveling guy, right? He's the ReZero guy, right? Right? Okeanex is not the solo leveling glazer. No. He is like the #1 ReZero glazer where it gets like toxic. Like there's like a spectrum of like fandom, and basically this guy is like the most toxic positive ReZero glazer is what I've been hearing about. Unlike Okeanex, who hate on everything that's not called ReZero. And then I read this screenshot. I don't know, it's some DMs. I think it's Okeanex's DMs right here, right? Considering it says, do you want to let Okeanex message you? Also, in order to understand this thread, we have to click on another fucking onion layer, right? I gotta click on this and see, bro, why Okeanex DMing me? This is where it's coming from. Imagine sucking dick of Wiki Historian. I think Wiki Historian here is Ellen Historian. When his entire content is spoiling every twist and mind-blowing things from ReZero novels without spoiler warning. He literally ruined Arc 6 for everyone. Is this true, guys? Is this true? Because all I'm aware of is that, yeah, Ellen Historian absolutely does spoil. But that's the nature of his content. I don't think he makes content for anime onlys. His entire content is for source material readers. Now, having a spoiler warning, I think, would definitely stop the controversy from fuming. There's a reason why I'm not subscribed to Ellen Historian's channel, even though I am a fan of his content, because it's very dangerous, right? Let's just get this. This is just an objective fact. He does spoil, but like I think that his content is spoiler content. So to blame a guy who makes specifically source material content and say that he spoils is kind of saying, I can't believe you would sell burgers at a fucking burger shop. I think that having a spoiler warning definitely would help. Definitely, like, kind of like just like lessen the like hate for Ellen Historian. But it is a fact that he does spoil. I've barely made any videos in Arc 6. What is this guy on about? Also, I'm out of the loop. Why he tweaking out over me again? I've had him blocked for months. Because of you, many of my friends know almost everything that will happen in Arc 9 and Arc 6 Lamau. You were wrong about that. You should make spoiler warnings longer. His channel name is LN literally. I mean, honestly, he should just rebrand his name to Spoiler Historian to lean onto the memes. And what do you expect from a guy's channel that's named Light Novel Historian? He's there to obviously give you context on the light novels. All right, no, and now we have to listen to this thread. All right, here's another onion layer that we got to go into. Ellen Historian has put out a tweet, and basically there's, oh my god, the level of inception. Okay, I need you to understand, we're like in these layers in order to climb back up to get to Echidnut and Ellen Historian drama. So like, hang on for now, okay? So here, it says, some people just don't understand that you can be multiple fandoms at the same time, have certain series above others. Like, I love ReZero, but I love Lord of the Mysteries more, blah, blah, blah. And then there's another fucking tweet that I gotta go into, where it's putting Ellen Historian on blast, saying, probably due to you not being a pure ReZero glazer and you promoting Lord of the Mysteries anime, don't care, dude is weird. Yeah, I mean, Okeanos is definitely way much, you know, too deep into the sauce, and if he sees Ellen Historian covering ReZero and other topics, he'll probably just say that he's just grifting and he doesn't actually care about this series and he's trying to cover them for money, which honestly is also true. Who isn't making content for money? You can like multiple things at once, man. Now, let's listen to this, bro. He's made a video and he's going to explain this, okay?
Spoiler warning. This is so true with like a lot of my videos. Like, my name is Ellen Historian. I'm legit like saying what I'm going to be talking about in the video.
Again, his name is Ellen Historian, bro. What do you expect from him?
For a lot of my shorts, right? And there's like also a spoiler warning, and just
there is a spoiler warning. Okay. Again, like, I'm just going off of what these tweets are saying. If he did indeed give out these spoiler warnings before this ReZero spoiler content, then what are we angry about?
Just like they just breeze past it and then watch it and then like just cry. At that.
Sometimes he has spoiler warnings. Okay, so sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. That's why people are trying to exaggerate, saying he always spoils or, you know, stuff like that.
Point is like a skill issue, bro. Like, I told you what the video is going to be about. I gave you a spoiler warning on the screen. You ignored all of it, right? And you watched the entire video, and
then basically people will take this clip and then say, no, you only put spoiler warnings for this one specific video, but there's like 10 other videos that you didn't do that, and I was spoiled by that, therefore I don't care what you say. That's what people are gonna just basically reduce this argument down to.
Then after that, you go in my comments and cry. Are we dead ass?
We're dead ass.
And if you don't see it and you don't hear it, that's just a skill issue at that point. Like, I'm not gonna like spend like 15 seconds of my video sitting there like, by the way, this is a spoiler. By the way, this is a spoiler. Guys, pause.
Also, there is something to be said about the YouTube algorithm specifically for, not specifically for shorts, but the first impressions definitely matter, and I think it's way more significant for shorts, because a short is like a couple second clip. People will scroll immediately if you spend the first 15 seconds just saying spoiler warning, guys. If you don't want to know this, please leave off, right? So there is like a built-in incentive for Ellen Historian to be very brief about the spoiler warning in the beginning of his shorts.
For the people, everyone, this is spoilers, guys. I'm going to say what it's about in the beginning, and then from that, you can click off or stay. And
all right,
don't complain. Like,
that's pretty much it. He has provided spoiler warnings, not for every video, but for some videos. But people are basically just still mad because, you know, he is providing spoiler content. But if you know the context of his name, Light Novel Historian, it's just kind of... That's a lie. I was scrolling through his shorts and bam, no spoiler warning, just spoiler straight to my face. Well, yeah, because not every video has spoiler warning, right? That's the issue right now. People are gonna take extreme ends on both sides and say he does provide, you know, spoiler warnings versus he doesn't provide spoiler warnings, because not every video has spoiler warnings. That's kind of like the issue, right? So let's read some of the replies. The vast majority are fine. Whoops. Okay, so that's basically the context of, you know, Ellen Historian talking about that. So let's come back from the recursion loop and basically be careful about this, guys, right? So basically this is the Arc 6 video that he's getting put on blast by. Apparently he didn't provide the spoiler warning for this one. Bro, all you're doing is gaining views by giving spoilers. Well, yes, because his content is rooted in spoilers, because he's a light novel historian. Again, we're just kind of going in a loop right now. God forbid Ellen Historian talks about the LN. Pretty much that. Yeah, giving spoilers in the first second without warning when I opened the app is exactly what Ellen Historian would do, and he blocked me, Lamau. So I guess in this specific video about Arc 6 stuff that he did not give a spoiler warning is what I'm kind of getting at, because this guy is, specifically targeting that. So, all right, let's climb back out of the recursion loop and climb back up here. We're going to be talking about the Jake stuff later because it's just kind of coming from the side. Let's go climb back up here. Now, we now know the context of this, okay? We just did all that. We just did 10 minutes of, research to understand exactly what Omer's talking about. Bro, all you're doing is getting views by giving spoilers. And now there is somebody, quote, tweeting this that Echidnut is responding to. Can we not act as if Echidnut hasn't spoken on LN content several times, each time giving warnings, and everyone's okay with it? This hypocrisy is sickening. And then we got a meme template. Happy guy clicks on spoiler. Angry guy gets spoiled. Okay, so basically, my overall feelings about this guy named Briz is saying, stop putting Ellen Historian on blast because Echidnut has also done similar behavior. Right? Can we not act as if Echidnut hasn't spoken on Ellen content several times? Each time giving warnings, and everyone's okay with it. Well, the hypocrisy here is the fact that I think Echidnut is less egregious about the spoilers, right? I think that, everything exists on a spectrum of how many frequent things happen or not, right? Many people online will be very intellectually disingenuous and basically say, let's say there's basically a person that's done things wrong 99 times wrong. And there's one person that's done the same stuff wrong only one time. And then they'll basically compare both as the same, which is so ridiculous, right? So hopefully you understand the example I'm giving. I feel like, thank you Figure for the prime, I appreciate that. I feel like after consuming a lot of Echidnut's content, he does not give spoilers. And if he does, it's very rare where he didn't intend to because these things were anime stuff that was going to happen in different order, right? Sometimes the anime won't cover stuff that's supposed to be happen in that source material, but the next episode it's oh, they kind of changed the order of events. And the spoilers itself is pretty minor. He also always gives a spoiler warning too, I think. So based on that, I think that Echidnut is very cautious about spoilers and less egregious about it. Ellen Historian, again, the nature of his content is straight up just light novel content, so you shouldn't be surprised there. Echidnut definitely used to make more light novel stuff, but then changed this entire content strategy to be more anime only friendly, right? So that's kind of where I'm getting at. So Echidnut's kind of getting put on blast right now because I guess this person hates Echidnut but wants to, protect Ellen Historian. And now we have this. 0 likes after 13 hours while having 1,800 followers is crazy. Echidnut has gotten whiff of this account with 1,800 followers and is making fun of their lack of engagement because, not gonna lie, that kind of is funny. Listen, you gotta. I think all of those followers are probably dead followers or kind of bot followers, right? So it is kind of funny about that. But basically, Echidnut's clapping back. I mean, hey, if you're just chilling and hanging out and then boom, you get pinged on bullshit like this and you just get stray bullets out of nowhere. Yeah, honestly, Echidnut is taking the mild route. Imagine me in this situation. Have you seen the stuff that I do? I would crash out way harder. This is pretty light. Now, let's read the thread. 99% of my content is spoiler free, so please don't compare to me to someone who makes money by ambushing anime onlys with major light novel spoilers in their title and thumbnail. And this is where Ellen Historian is now getting caught. He's not getting caught. It all stemmed from Ellen Historian content. It's just Echidnut is also putting Ellen Historian on blast right now. Ooh, this is tasty. Okay. I do agree though with the fact that his content is quite spoiler free. I've watched a lot of his videos. So many videos, right? So let's read the tweet again. Don't compare to me to someone who makes money by ambushing. Well, I think that Ellen Historian does make money off of spoiling. But here's the thing. Spoiling here has two different contexts and different connotations. Right? The nature of Ellen Historian's content is rooted in spoilers because his name is Ellen Historian. Let's just get that out of the way. So it's not as if like spoilers are like a bad thing in this context, but you can frame it in a very negative way, like saying ambushing anime onlys, right? There's a very negative connotation with what Ellen Historian does, right? Isn't this the guy that spoiled almost all of Reezer tweet by his meme Lama? Why is he talking about spoilers? People hating you in 2025 was not on my bingo card, not gonna lie. People aren't hating on Echidnut. It's just random fucking Twitter accounts. Again, people love to, I mean, listen, the vast majority of people are very positive and they're just silent lurkers. There's always gonna be the vocal minority that, you know, we always put like a magnifying glass on. And I love doing that shit too, but to let people know that this is not the reality. This is such a nothing burger. But obviously, if you get called out like this, sometimes you just wanna kind of clap back, man. And basically, this is Echidnut, you know, agreeing with this tweet and saying, bro, don't fucking compare to me with this guy. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So much for being the creator who stays out of drama. What's wild is that we've been mutuals for months, yet you're out here indirectly talking shit. He is indirectly talking shit. Well, he doesn't mention, he's not tagging Ellen Historian. I don't think he's trying to hide it though, because he's directly replying to this where the context of this, you know, tweet is Ellen Historian spoiling, right? The nature of his content. That's honestly embarrassing behavior. Like, bro, if you have a problem with me, be direct. And let's not pretend you didn't build your platform on novel content. Yeah, I hear that in the beginning, he did do novel content, but then later on he transitioned his entire brand to being anime only friendly. So I'm judging him based on, you know, the amount of different content that is anime only friendly versus his oldest videos. That's literally how your channel started. Now you just target your videos to a wider and more profitable audience, anime onlys. But God forbid me, the creator named Light Novel Historian, talks about the novel. Oh, and now, ladies and gentlemen, we are all caught up in the drama. Who is in the right? Who is in the wrong? At the end of the day, I'm not here to be a judge. I'm simply here to broadcast this Twitter drama, bro. Again, I treat this as reality TV. This is nothing serious to me. And I hope that they're not taking this serious too. This is all just fun, drama, controversy content that we're just farming for just fun. And there's nothing personal that we need to be condemning each other. My take is, Echidnut did, you know, definitely cover web novel content in the beginning. But he has definitely transitioned over to more anime-only stuff. And he is sticking to more anime-only stuff. And it's smart, right? It is the biggest demographic. There's way more anime-onlys compared to, you know, source material readers. And to pander towards that is a good business decision. Is it hypocritical for Echidnut to put Ellen Historian on blast for, you know, Ellen Historian covering spoiler content? Well, at the end of the day, I think that when you look at the way that Ellen Historian frames this, you know, argument, it does seem very hypocritical, right? How could he not seem like a hypocrite? You did cover spoiler content. That's how you started this shit off. And now you're blaming me for covering the same type of content? Well, it's a bit different, right? Because the way that I see it is, it's how egregious and flagrant some of these spoilers may be based on what I've heard from other people, right? And I'm talking about Ellen Historian shorts. Listen, I love the guy's content, and hopefully, you know, we can definitely maintain an amicable relationship with everybody in this video, right? But what I'm talking about here is the nature of how he does content and how often that he spoilers. Even though he does put spoiler tags on some videos, he definitely doesn't on other videos. And because of that, it's going to seem more flagrant. Therefore, even if Echidnut has covered spoiler content in the past, it's not on the same level of degree of flagrant spoilers. And that's why Echidnut seems to be taking more like a moral high road for it. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is a lot more nuanced than people may think. Ellen Historian has replied to this. There is, okay, we got to be careful about this. I'm not going to go down here because there's spoilers down here. Echidnut replies, this is the first 3 seconds of your video with massive spoilers in the middle of the screen as well. Imagine opening TikTok as an anime only and this auto plays. I don't want drama. I just want a spoiler warning. And I think that's totally fair, right? I think it is absolutely fair for Echidnut to mention this. He does do spoiler content, and it's like, Imagine as like an anime only, you're just like scrolling TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, and boom, you get like Ellen Historian's content, which, you know, by all means, he is the light novel historian. He is covering light novel content. But even then, to get spoiled immediately, right? To get spoiled immediately of that content that you never really asked for, it doesn't really matter if his name is Ellen Historian. You know what I mean? Because the anime only got spoiled. Like, they didn't click onto your channel and decide to watch a video. Because, like, there's a difference of when you're on YouTube and you're just kind of like, just basically just like, you know, refreshing and looking at whatever is recommended, right? And sometimes you'll go to people's channels and click a video, right? That is your decision. But on Shorts, you're literally just scrolling and there is no warning. There's no warning at all, and you immediately get spoiled. And due to that, a lot of people have very negative bias towards Ellen Historian. Again, it doesn't matter if his name is Ellen Historian or not. The nature of Shorts content and how it's distributed, right? You have no freedom. You literally just boom. It's like a dude that's just like walking to the side of the road and just fucking flashes you. Boom! ReZero Rock that spoilers, and it's just like, what the fuck? I didn't mean to ask for that, right? And therefore, if there was, I think that if Ellen Historian, I think the best way to go on about this is have a initial like first like 2 seconds. You don't have to do a 15-second spoiler, right? All you gotta do is ReZero spoiler alert. You're warned, and then you go into it. Ellen Historian would have way better grounds to argue against situations like this, because I think that the way that he does his content right now, and I don't watch all of his content, like straight up, my community has to like basically whenever a new short comes out regarding some sort of like ReZero or Mushoku Tensei or whatever series that we're covering, my community will literally check his content and filter through it to see if there is spoilers or not. Like, I don't go out and do it because I'm scared to get spoiled, right? So let's just get that out of the way. There's some funny stuff happening here down as well. Now let's get to some of this shit right over here. Where's Jake? And then the only ReZero content creator that matters. That's right. This is the only ReZero content creator, guys. Put the fucking respect on my boy Jakes. All right. My man Jakes is the true only ReZero content creator, and he has decided to enter the the gladiator ring. Based Ellen Historian at Echidnut should stick to putting hentai clips in his videos and selling nut rags for $40 before calling others out. Where is this coming from? What is the context of hentai clips and putting nut rags? Now, maybe Echidnut has provided, you know, random clips of, I don't know, like redo of Healer. I genuinely don't know what the context here is about, but I'm sure if you would sift through, you know, all 160 videos, you could find some sort of context regarding about that. If you don't know about the Jake scenario, basically this is another ReZero content creator. No, not another ReZero content creator. This is the only ReZero content creator who basically put Echidnut on blast during the ReZero Season 4 announcement at the end of his video, because he doesn't like how Echidnut is branching off to different, you know, variety content. And again, I think it's so smart for Echidnut to not only stick to, you know, just ReZero content, but to do different type of content. And then Jake feels like there's some sort of like loyalty being breached, and how, you know, and there's obviously jealousy at play. Let's just get that serious, right? Obviously there's going to be jealousy rooted in, and Jake has a lot of pride in his content of becoming a ReZero loyalist. And if that's his, you know, strategy, and if that's his decision, by all means go for it. I just think that there is a bit of contradiction rooted from the jealousy, because you shouldn't care about other people doing better in different niches, especially if you only care about ReZero and only ReZero only, right? We talked about in that video about, you know, being jealous of viewership is quite contradictory compared to his like stance on only caring about ReZero and not caring about the views and blah blah blah. Anyways, there's some funny tweets here too. What Jake, did the Sin Archbishop of Wrath influence you or something? I don't remember you talking shit about other ReZero content creators. Well, except for that video about ReZero Season 4. That's basically what we're talking about here. Why can't this fandom be at a fucking peace? It's not infighting, it's outfighting. We got iShow Speed gawking, and boom, right over here. I think both of you were meant to be been born a few centuries ago and live as peasants. Jesus Christ. And right over here, we got Okeanix, the man who kind of started it all, bro. This guy started it all. Because if you remember, how did this all start? This all started with the guy named Okeanix who apparently sent Dazai like a DM, and then the DM suddenly put Okeanix and Ellen Historian on blast, and this is a domino effect. Like, you need to understand the level of dominoes at play right now. You may hate Echidnut, but don't defend Wiki Historian. I love how he always calls him Wiki Historian, bro. As if like this is supposed to be like an insult, because you know Wikipedia, right? You're supposed to be just like labeling stuff. Maybe you know OKNX is saying Ellen Historian doesn't do his due diligence and only basically just like just reads off of certain wikis, and he doesn't do research, and that's why he's trying to reduce him as a content creator like that, who only farms ReZero for clicks and ambushes anime-only viewers with major web novel spoilers with anything, ruining the experience for everyone. Guy literally frames Mushoku fans as a ReZero fan, and now there's some extra context here, guys. Exposing Ellen Historian. This guy really thinks he can manipulate people with his 3 IQ. Anyway, if you see Ellen Historian anywhere, just post this screenshot and move on. He literally framed a Mushoku Tensei fan as a ReZero fan to stir up drama. Ooh, alright. Let's do our due diligence, check this guy out. So these are Discord logs. With any screenshots, you can definitely, Photoshop and fake stuff, and things are going to be out of context. But let's just give the benefit of the doubt that this is real. We got Ellen Historian saying, well, yeah, no one actually thinks Lord of the Mysteries anime is going to be the best thing ever. We just say it to build up hype. Yeah, welcome to YouTube marketing, man. That's how it works. And then we got a response. Usually it leads to opposite effects, and you're just getting people to hate it, all the popular thing. Any discourse about it is good discourse for me. Even if they hate it, I can still profit. War makes money. I'm actually kind of low-key stoked to flames at this. ReZero versus Lord of the Mysteries fan on Twitter might be fun. I mean, hey, at this point, he's not trying to hide it. He's just saying it straight up. Anyways, if Solo Leveling aired at the same time as Lord of the Mysteries, it could have been the perfect target. It was hella big. Still can farm. I mean, listen, at this point, like, it's pretty obvious, right? Like, controversy farms content. It's engagement. At the end of the day, like, listen, you can hate on the guy. I appreciate that he's honest about it. I low-key respect the grind, right? In the game of YouTube, it's all just fucking controversy and engagement baiting, right? And the more that you can cause, you basically want to waft the fans of controversy in your direction. It's like a tailwind, and at the end of the day, if it gets more people talking about shows, hopefully not really in like a toxic negative way, but if you do, engage in this kind of discourse, this is just fucking gaslight manipulation behavior happening. But hey, at the end of the day, this is what it takes to, stir up engagement, and I do the same shit too. I mean, what am I doing right now? Well, hopefully, I don't try to like stir up drama. I like to like respond to drama or like cover drama in like an objective, unbiased way while trying to give you like my personal perspective on things. But that's pretty much it, man. I mean, I don't think Ellen Historian is honestly trying to hide anything. Like, do you really think that like Ellen Historian would like write these logs on Discord if he didn't think that people will screenshot this? And he probably wants this to be spread, right? He probably wants this, logs to be spread because, he's just straight up saying it. I don't care. Like, more like discourse, more negative engagement. Good. All it does is put a spotlight on me and I can grow. And if that's a strategy, hey, all the power to him. Here's a TLDR. TLDR. Okeanix started everything, bro. Blame Okeanix. TLDR, Okeanix DM'd and put Ellen Historian on blast, and then other people start to compare Echidnut to Ellen Historian. I think that Echidnut does not spoil at the same frequency or, severity of Ellen Historian. I think Ellen Historian absolutely does spoil, but his name is literally Ellen Historian. What could you expect? But even with that defense, I do believe due to the nature of shorts and how they are basically distributed to people online, you don't have a choice, right? Again, you don't click onto these videos. You simply scroll and boom. Imagine you get spoiled of all these crazy stuff that you were looking for to as an anime only, and basically you just get fucked for it. I think there's a very simple answer. There's a very simple answer, and it is to basically just put in heavy spoiler warnings in the beginning of his videos. And if Ellen Historian could do that, I think that all of this would kind of go away and he would have a much better grounds to argue with, because right now, because of these lack of spoiler warnings on, maybe he does have it in the recent videos, but some of the other videos that's getting put on blast, it's going to give them more ammo. But maybe that's his intention. Maybe that's his intention to, basically just not put spoiler warnings and get people, talking about this shit and just get people mad. I think that there is I would prefer it. I think that like I would be very just sad and disappointed if I got spoiled on something so crazy that I was looking forward to. But that's pretty much it. Unreal day for the unemployed. This truly is a Super Bowl for us, guys. Bye bye.